Recording in progress. I love those words because it means I get to share something with people that's going to stay throughout time. So, how's it going, everybody? My name is Marlon Johnson. This is my podcast, Into the Mind. I'm your host. Today, we do not have a guest. I'm going to be actually sharing something that has been on my mind and really on my heart for the last few weeks. And it's been an ongoing conversation with many other people. It's interesting people seem to reach out to me and they will present their challenges that they're struggling with. And sometimes their challenges are, I've already overcome them. And sometimes their challenges, it's almost like the universe and God are showing me my own personal challenges, right? When they come to me. And I'm grateful because getting to speak to them allows me to actually work through some of my own challenges, right? My own obstacles. Obstacles are literally, I want you to remember this, obstacles are put in your way so that you can show off what you're made of. Obstacles are here for you, right? They are not problems. They are opportunities for you to show off. So let's talk about this obstacle that's been coming up, which is imposter syndrome. Yeah. So imposter syndrome, a lot, and maybe it's not you, but a lot of us, and I say us like me, have struggled with this, right? We've had experiences or moments, and maybe you can relate to this, where people look at you with a level of expectation for you to be a certain type of person, for you to have things all figured out, for your life to be so perfect, for everything to just be going easy peasy, smooth sailing. And little do they know that you're still very much a human and things are not perfect, right? Your circumstances are not perfect. There's a lot of challenges that you would gladly, wish away if you could, right? You're just like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need those, but they're there. However, people look at you as if those challenges are they don't exist, not for you. And what ends up happening, the reason this becomes a challenge, and I can attest to this personally in my world, the reason that became a challenge was because when people would look at me like that, it put me in a position where I saw that they were leaning on me. They were believing in me and they were using that belief in me for themselves to grow, for themselves to overcome, because they had this thought that if I could do it, if I could be like that, so could they. But I wasn't like that, not yet, right? Or at least in my mind, I didn't feel like I was that thing, that I wasn't on that pedestal that you put me on. However, you having me on that pedestal is empowering your life. So what am I to do in that moment? Do I force myself off the pedestal? Do I force you to take me off the pedestal and lose the thing that is currently allowing you to get through your challenges to make your life better? Or do I step my game up and I become that person? I mean, I think you guys know me well enough to know which one I start leaning towards. However, that doesn't make it easy, right? In fact, like there are times where I literally want to stop. I was going to say a curse word, but I want to cry. And yeah, cry. Yeah, like I don't really think I cry that much, but there are times where I feel defeated, right? Where I'm just like, geez, this is an impossible task. How is anyone to live up to what's going on in your freaking imagination or your imagination or anyone else's imagination? And that's when I start to realize, look, you don't need to live up to anybody else's imagination. Live up to your own imagination. If someone puts you on a pedestal and you want to achieve that for yourself, for your own reasons, go ahead. However, do not feel obliged to live up to someone else's expectation of you. If they want to hold on to that expectation, although you're telling them the truth, cool. If they want to drop the expectation because they meet the real version of you and they feel like that's not good enough, cool. However, you can do this wisely, right? This is what I've learned. Like, it's never a this or that. It's not so black and white. This world, this life is a this and that kind of game, right? There's ways to include both. You can begin to curate essentially the imaginations of others and leverage it in your favor so that you can actually be placed on the pedestal you want to be placed on versus the one that people choose to put you on. You can actually pick the one yourself that you want to be placed on, and then you can leverage other people's belief in you along with your own belief, right? You want to leverage your imagination and their imagination to get you there faster, right? Because here's what's going to happen. This is the cool part. This is the part I really don't think I've ever heard anyone else talk about this. I don't think I made this up. I think other people are clearly aware of this, but I don't hear other people talking about this. When you do this, you are leveraging the belief system of other people. And we all know how powerful belief is, right? The imagination is way more powerful than fact, right? Facts are not that crucial. They're not that important. Your imagination is way more powerful. Your belief system is way more powerful than facts. This is why we've sent men to the moon. This is why we've waged wars. This is why we've split atoms. This is why one day we will have a cure for cancer and teleportation will be a thing and the freaking metaverse is about to exist. It's because imagination. So if I can harness the power of imagination, literally one of the most powerful things in the universe, and not just my own imagination, but the imaginations of others to help create my belief and my world and my reality, that's a powerful thing. As an investor, I like it when I can use a little bit of effort to create a big result, where I can leverage, where I could, use this little bit of down payment to borrow this much money to go control that large asset, right? Leverage other people's belief in you. If imposter syndrome isn't serving you, it means think, re-strategize. How can I use what's happening underlying, right? Because the reason you feel like an imposter is because you're letting it happen to you, not letting it happen for you. Start to use it wisely. It's a natural phenomenon for people to believe in something, to believe in you, especially as you start to bring them value, service, and you start to put yourself out there. You want people to believe in you. Now, what do you want them to believe in you for? That's your choice. So as I personally have worked through that, and I said, okay, people put me in this position where, again, they think I've got it all figured out. Well, what would I like to have it all figured out in? What realm? For me, it's entrepreneurship, right? It's all right, I want to go have it figured out in a lane of entrepreneurship and financial literacy. I want people to believe that I have that all figured out. And I want to feel the pressure of them looking at me like he's got it figured out, because that pressure is going to force me to go work. That pressure is going to force me to show up every day. Not just for me, because it's easy to let me down. I can let me down all the time. It's hard to let you down. I struggle letting other people down. It eats at me. It eats at me every day when I feel like I let someone else down. So I leverage that. I leverage that pressure to keep me going. I leverage that pressure to tell me, make my calls. I leverage that pressure to tell me, don't stop. You're not there yet. Just keep going. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. Don't be obsessed with the length of time it takes to get there. Be obsessed with the fact that you're on the journey. So with everything I said, hopefully something resonated with you. If you're listening all the way through to the end, if you watched this and this isn't the greatest camera quality, I'm recording this on my MacBook at 11 o'clock at night on a Friday after a long day, a long, beautiful day that I'm grateful for. And if you're watching this and it's resonating, great. I'm stoked. I made this for you. Take it, use it, leverage it, build your community, build your following around you, build your following around your dream, around your vision. Right? Don't listen to anyone else's vision. If it's not serving you, drop it. Build your own vision. Create your life on purpose. My name is Marlon Johnson. This is Into the Mind. I am your host. I appreciate you for showing up. If you got any sort of value from this episode, please, I'm asking you, I want you to share this. And now here's the thing. I don't want it to be shared aimlessly. I want you to actually take a minute to think of 3 people that you feel would actually resonate with this message. Take a moment to think, who in my life would actually really benefit from just hearing these words? Who do I know that would get a lot of value out of this. And I want you to send this to them directly, whether it be a text message, a DM, right? You can share it on your story, but let's make it a little bit more impactful. Let's actually just say, hey, Brian, I listened to this and I thought about you. And I thought you would actually really enjoy listening to it as well. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are after. Call me after you're done listening. Spark that conversation, right? Mastermind. The reason you want to do this, again, you're going to help build someone else up and you're going to build yourself up. You're going to mastermind with that person on this and you're going to figure out, hey, how can we use what he's saying so that we can create our lives on purpose? That's my message here. I appreciate you for hanging out, and I will see you on the next episode of Into the Mind with Marlon Johnson. Take care.